I played a lot during sound check and stuff like that. We kind of had it on the road. And I remember one day we were in the studio, we were recording a different song, and we were just kind of beating our heads against the wall, and we were just kind of frustrated with it. But one of the benefits, I guess, to having your own studio, which we do have, is that nobody's there to tell you you can't change and do something else. And so I just started playing the riff, and everybody kind of got excited, and I think we just started writing the lyrics down immediately. It's one of those songs that the lyric really matches the feeling of the music, that you get from the music. I think on the last record, Washed by the Water, was like that, and More Time was a song. It's got a road beat. It felt like a road song, but something about the song just felt kind of like, a dirty gospel, just kind of old hymn. And so the words just came right out, and the stops and claps followed, and we got really excited about the song.
No, you talk about like banging your head on. The album has a lot of like stomps and a lot of claps, a lot of that really southern feel. Is that just something you guys really like, or are you trying to take it kind of a new direction? I know your other stuff doesn't really have so much of that on it.
I think we.
No, I was going to say it comes pretty naturally to us. I mean, that's just that's what really feels good to us in a lot of situations. And so on previous records, it was like we didn't want to get too much of the southern stuff in there because the label was kind of discouraging it a little bit. But on the last two, we've just kind of gone with our gut feelings on the whole southern feel of stuff. Because sometimes if you do something that's a little cliche kind of southern, it can start sounding like you're trying to copy Skinner or the Allman Brothers or somebody like that. But for us, it's just, we're from the South. That's what we come from, so it just kind of comes out naturally.
I think the bigger question is, how many songs did we probably take it out of? We just, I think anytime, just as musicians, when you're in the studio, you just want to tinker. You want to play around, and so we went and bought mandolins and banjos, and anytime you have a fresh feeling or fresh vibe that can come out in the studio, it kind of sparks some just fun in the studio, and so it feels more genuine when you use instruments and stops and claps and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. Now, your tour, pretty much every show has been selling out for you guys. Is that how you felt?
Yeah, the majority of the tour has been sold out this time around. Yeah,
that's awesome. Tower is really interested if you guys. This is the exact question. Have you guys found your place as a band, or are you still outsiders?
I think that is our place.
Yeah.
I think we're that's on the record. We say that we've come to terms with it. I think it's something that we are very proud of. And at first we probably didn't know it. But then as it's been going on, and we've been touring and meeting people. The first time we got out, we were from a town called Possum Kingdom, and we met Joe and Seth when we were like 8 years old. And there was no music scene, and so going to LA and New York were like very overwhelming for us, and we didn't know if they wanted to listen to what we had to say. But we got out there, and when you play live and you connect with people, they see the sincerity and the genuineness through the music and what you're saying, and then then what you have to say is important. And I think despite it not sounding like CCM, or even on the mainstream side, not sounding like Top 40 or the stuff that's out right now, I think is a place that we're very glad that we're at, and hopefully people can find something they can enjoy from it.
And definitely. Do you have anything to add to it?
I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, there's a song that I really like, and a lot of people have been really digging on the album. It's called Garden.
Yeah.
And I think the direct quote is "Father, let my heart beat after you."
Mm-hmm.
And do you find that you guys have mostly Christian fans or secular, kind of a mixed base?
It's a mix. Because our stuff gets out in a lot of different ways. Like as on top of Christian radio, there's also mainstream radio. There's also movies and TV shows, and there's also touring that we do, like going across the nation. So I make it a point after shows to ask people like how they heard about the show, how they found out about the band. And you get everything from I heard you at church, from that to like I heard you like on a TV commercial and I Shazammed it and went and downloaded the record. So I think it's really a broad range of people, which is kind of the way we want it. You know, we're not writing songs for any specific group of people. We're just kind of trying to write songs from the heart, and whoever that connects with, it connects with them.
I saw you guys play with David Cook back at the House of Blues a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I thought it was an amazing show. Really did an amazing job, and everyone was going crazy for you. Do you find it's hard to keep your Christianity alive and maintain your walk when you're playing with secular artists, or you're playing like in a secular environment?
I think anytime you're out in the world, it's a struggle. You know, there's always going to be things. Sometimes you deal with it more than others, and I think it's important to acknowledge that there's gonna be struggles. But these guys, we've known them since we've all known each other since we were 8 or 10, so we're pretty hard on each other, you know. So everything's pretty open in the band, and if you catch somebody slipping up, you know, then I go knock them on the head and say, you know, be careful, you know, watch out. But yeah, I think one thing that's encouraging for us is on a tour like that is where I think we seem the most different. To the other band, the other crew, I think they notice something's different about us. And so for us, especially on something that's like that in the mainstream, it's an opportunity for us to just be ourselves and be comfortable with who we are in Christ, and be an example as best we can, flaws and all, but I think that's something that does keep us going, is because there's an obvious difference when you're out with a band like that, or any mainstream band.
I was just going to say, I think that's the greatest area to have an impact. Like, there's nothing wrong with writing songs for Christians. Like, a lot of Christian artists do that. Like, it's encouraging to people who are in the church, and it's encouraging to people who are already Christians. But I think where we have the chance to make the most impact is out here, like in clubs and mainstream venues, where we can really kind of have conversations with people who may not really know, like, our hearts about that. And then we can play a show, and they can see the passion that we have for our music and the things that we're singing about. And then after the show, go out and chat with some people, and just hopefully have some meaningful conversations.
The song Stones Under Rushing Water is one of my favorite tracks on the album. And there's a female on this one as well.
Yeah.
Who is that? Who's on the
It's
track?
Sarah Watkins from Nickel Creek.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And Jim Scott, he's one of 3 co-producers on the record. We went out in California, and our goal every time we make a record, the Atlantic pays for anyway. We try to take the most from each producer as possible. And he was one of these like really old school laid back guys. He doesn't mix or record on the computer. He just completely. I mean, it looked like a studio straight from the 70s, way before all the computer technology came out with recording and all that. And he had the idea of Sarah. Bear had the idea of having a girl sing for a long time on that song. But we just didn't know who, so we're kind of debating it. And whenever we signed up with Jim Scott, he's like, I got somebody who's perfect. And she blew us away. Like, the first take, we're like, it's it, that's done. But she was great. She really wanted to work with us, and so she kept stabbing at it, because she thought she could one better herself. And but she, every time we listen to it on the record, it's one of the most fun things about recording is other people helping you out on your songs.
Do you guys have a few more minutes or no?
Maybe we have like 2 minutes probably.
2 minutes? Okay, cool.
Go ahead, Jesse.
I'm sorry. If we could just get a picture.
Yeah, sure.
You guys.